Today it's Friday, September 20, 2024. CDL. Come gear out. They told me yesterday from the office we ordered the puller, and till yesterday night they haven't shipped the puller. I said, okay, fuck it, screw it. I'm gonna make my own puller and I'm gonna take out the cam gear. Cam gear here, bolt here, the woodruff key here, so don't lose it. And with this way I can continue, I can move on. Meanwhile, what I did, because I ordered some dry ice for some other engines, I blast the block with the dry ice. I'm gonna find in front of me, so I'm not gonna have to spend more time. It was a good chance, all right? And then I cover again the engine, actually. Before I continue, what do we have here, just to don't be confused? Mostly for the owner of this engine, all right? Like I said, this is a CDL, all right? Forget about this and this from M157, all right? And this one is from M157. This is a CDL. This is what you see on the floor, it's from M177, it's a different engine. The throwing down cylinder heads on the floor, I put it down, I put it gently, I didn't throw it, and I'm not kicking it as well. And the piston connectors there, it's also from M177 LS2. The cylinder heads also from LS2, you can see the cylinder cancellation on it, but that's not the point. This will gonna stay here. You're gonna tell me where you're gonna put these parts. Yeah, you have a point. Yeah, that's a good question. We're gonna see, we're gonna find out. Let's open the engine. Let's take it apart. I remove also the sealant that was stuck here. One friend, he mentioned that if you apply silicone here, sealant, and you block this oil gallery, then you're gonna have problems. Or if you block, let us say, because it's also for the variable, for the cam adjuster. He's right on that. I didn't mention, I think. I need to get the socket in inch, yeah, to remove this, but later on. First the cover here front. So continue, today continue opening the CDL. Yep, it has a little bit space to put it here. Yeah, all these parts need to be washed. I cannot use it again like this. Need to be washed, need to be inspected like any other time. Engine, yeah. Camshafts, lifters out. Let's have a look. Couple of things. One thing that I don't like, other than the chain, it's an old one. You can tell me it's not suffering. Yeah, okay. It looks like a new tensioner, all right, but the pad has some wear on it. They didn't put assembly grease, they didn't put oil on it. You have also here some sealant, also here. Yeah, that looks like it's an old one. I mean, you see the color of the pad. You can compare also the color of the pad with this one. That looks like this one. Also, this tensioner needs to be replaced. Then he has the, I was saying, that has the old part number, rocker arms. That's how this looks like. I mean, I'm talking about this one with the needle bearing that has inside. And the lifters, the hydraulic lifters, yeah, it doesn't look so healthy. All right, yeah. You see the space that has here and here. I'm gonna show you what I mean. Usually, it might touch on the retainer. The thing is, I don't see any sign touching on the retainer. All good. What in hell is that? Yeah, we're gonna find out later. It does have a contact on the retainer. All right. Fine. The other thing that I don't like is that they have grind the top of all the valves. And does looks like even straight the cut. It does looks one nice clean cut. It looks like Looks like shit. Alright. I wanna see the valve seats. What they have done to the valve seats. Because if it's not correct the height, they adjust the height probably on the top of the valve, but that's not the right way. You put the valve seat on the correct height and that's it. Let's see. Let's pull out the cylinder head. The cylinder head has a code BWA. Nothing wrong with that. It's on the cover also. The number is here, the other number is over there on the cover. Okay. Alright. They didn't put a sealant, they put this glue. It was nice actually because it came out easily. This is supposed to be marks from sandpaper, I guess. Yeah. I'm gonna see about that. I might put the camshafts without the hydraulic lifters and the rocker arms to see how they spin, or I can put them in a plastic cage and check the clearance. Yeah, later, not now. Now let's take out the cylinder head. I saw sealant on the... Yeah, there is also sealant on the chain. Yeah, to don't have this kind of bullshit, you just have to change to put a new gasket for the cover. Alright, and you don't have to apply sealant. Or like I said before, you can apply sealant in one spot here where it's merging together and a little bit here. And that's it. You might need to polish it a little bit. Alright. I'm gonna get the camshafts and these things inside the engine room to have a little bit space here and to don't keep the cam adjuster here because it looks like a new one, like I said. And the tensioner, I have to open it with one way or the other. And the pads, it depends how it's gonna be inside, how it's gonna be the piston and the housing. If it does have a scoring, if it comes separate the pads, I don't know if it comes separate, that's why I'm saying if it comes separate, we're gonna change all the pads. Same thing, not on this, I have to unpress this one. I don't think so. I think that it's much better to get changed all together. It looks the old one. By the way, one bolt that was holding down this bracket, it was like this actually here. It was on front. Where am I? Yes, it was front here actually. It was loose, this bolt. It was not being full torqued down, and it's missing also one washer. That means one of these washers is not existing. They just put this bracket underneath. Yeah. Let's continue. Before I pull the cylinder head, before I take it out, the cylinder head, I have mentioned that before, you can remove the studs. If you have a billet block, or if you have, it depends the engine that you have, 99% you're gonna get away like this. I have shown you that before, how to install the studs on the cylinder head. When you do your job on the block and the threads are nice and clean, and then you test fit the studs and you see that it's nice and straight, all of them, that it sits, it bottoms out, let us say on the same height, then you don't have to, I mean, yeah, it's nonsense to put the studs and then to put the head gasket and then to put the cylinder head and scratching everything and struggling there. The same thing on how to remove it. How to remove it, you just lose the nut, take all the stud out, and then you don't have to struggle playing left and right, scratching everything to take it apart. It's nice and easy. There's nothing inside. You see? Hole. Second thing, what I'm doing on the cylinder heads that has integrated washer like this, there is a washer down there. This is a steel washer, it's not aluminum or aluminium, it's not the cylinder head, okay? You can see what I'm saying, what I'm talking about. Me personally, as soon as there is a washer on the cylinder head, I'm not using the washer that they're giving with the studs. I'm not putting double washer. For me it's nonsense. For somebody else it might be okay. The same thing I'm doing on the M177. The M177, if you see, you see that has integrated washer on it? As soon as there is no problem with the washer and it's stuck there, it doesn't make any sense. Plus, I prefer to use the OEM washer versus what comes with the studs, because it's much more wider. And to put, once again, to put the washer on the washer, yeah. It is something, right? Now, shit. Let me grab the magnet again. Dang it. 1 second, let me pause it. Just to be 100% clear, oh boy, it is a washer there. You see that it gets the magnet. It's aluminium. This is steel. So my advice, do not install a washer on a washer. My advice. But like I said, I might be wrong, okay? Do whatever you want. All in place, all in place. Yep, lovely. Let's take out the cylinder head. Not with one hand, obviously. Yeah, let's take it out. Give me a second. Cylinder head out. I'm just checking by feel to see if it has any difference, any crazy difference on the height. It feels decent. It's a little bit more out. I'm gonna get a measurement just to verify. Alright. It looks decent. One stamp it's here, the other stamp it's here, the other stamp it's here and here. Okay, it should have enough material. Alright, then let's see the block. Forget the head gasket. I'm not reusing the head gasket. Some people, they're doing it. Me, I'm not reusing it. Okay. I'm gonna measure it later on. I want to bring now the pistons. It's two pistons, let us say, top dead center, then the other two pieces of top dead center, to clean a little bit and write a number on it, 1 to 4, to know from where I remove it. Cylinder wall inside. Yeah, I'm gonna get a measurement to see what's going on. Alright. Cylinder head, I'm gonna put it down there, next to the other cylinder heads. Why not? Studs, yeah. I'm gonna put in a bucket over there and continue. I will be able to place the pistons there up. Yeah, that's the plan. Move on. By the way, just in case if I forget it, because I had a conversation with a friend of mine and I was explaining that when you have, let us say, an engine that's been designed to run at 6,500 RPMs, where's the rev limiter, and then you put aftermarket camshafts, you build your engine and then you're revving it up to 8,000 RPMs, and you have cancelled the balance shafts, example, alright, you should not gonna keep the same oil level. You might need to put half liter more oil, just in case, because you're revving it higher, so you're gonna get more oil from the oil panel, gonna bring it up to the cylinder head, and it might have an oil starvation. And as more as you are at 8,000 RPMs, you know what's happening. It's not a dry sump. But this, just in case if I forget it, I might remember at the end, and I'm gonna mention that after I wash everything, after I'm gonna prepare everything. Now, what's the time? It's the time to clean the carbon all around, to be able to pass the piston out easily, to don't hurt also the piston rings, to don't bites on the carbon, okay? The top of the piston to write a number on it, and stripping it, taking it apart. Yeah. Now, removing the carbon around the cylinders, here near the top dead center, alright, to pass easily the piston rings and the side skirt, to don't make any scratch. Same thing here. The engine was running on ethanol. You see the signs here and there. It's not that much the piston itself, it's much more the cylinder, the piston rings and the valves. So that's why I'm saying that if you're running on ethanol, don't keep the car. First of all, I have put some oil on the cylinder walls, that's why I can move it. Alright? So, what I was saying, let's come from the intake here. 1 and 4 and 2 and 3. Now, what I was saying, don't keep the engine for a long time with ethanol. I mean, if you're planning to storage the engine, or if you leave it, let us say, standing for 2 weeks, it's much better to empty the ethanol from the fuel tank, fill it up with normal petrol, run a little bit for the fuel injectors, for the cylinders, all these things. Put also one conditioner for the ethanol. There is nowadays bottles that it depends how much you have inside, to avoid having any rust on the cylinder wall, to avoid having any problem with the piston rings or the valves and the valve seats. Alright, now I saw something in one cylinder. Where was it now? This. There is one dot here. Where am I? One second. Just a second, make it upside down. Alright. I saw one small dot there that it doesn't matter because it's higher than the piston rings. It doesn't matter at all. And there was another one dot somewhere. There is one small imperfection here. Any imperfection that you have on the surface here, I have mentioned that 1,000,000 times. The pressure and the flame and the heat and the temperature and the fire, all right, the fire and the pressure, these two usually goes together. They're gonna find the weak spot. So when you have some small imperfections, this is when you increase the pressure and the temperature. From there, we're gonna burn the head gasket. Okay, not something new here. No, there's nothing. This is a little bit surface rust. There is one line here. Yeah, it's not the ideal. No, it's not. It bites. Yeah. Let's see also the cylinders, the bore. We have, no, this is okay, this is fine. That's fine. Making it upside down the engine, start removing piston connecting rods. I was willing to check how much been stretched the connecting rod bolts, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Yeah, making it upside down. Piston connecting rods out. There is somewhere on the skirt. Here it looks like that they put on a vise. I saw also somewhere else. Yeah, I saw also here one mark. Nothing wrong with that, okay. Never mind. Now, connector bearings, forget it. Alright, and piston rings. Yeah, this is more acceptable. The top one I'm talking about. This is more close. It's gonna be good thing to change the piston rings. Yeah, the second one is not suffering that much, obviously. Alright. 1, 2, 3, and 4 in a row. I'm gonna check that again inside the engine room, not here, obviously. The numbers are correct. They haven't mixed up anything. That's okay. The crankshaft, it spins. All right, nice. If you're asking me, the connector bolts, there was not torqued down, but that's me, and I didn't put the cage there. Screw it. Now I'm gonna get this connector inside the engine room to have a space there. Removing the crankshaft out. If you continue running this engine, this season it should be the last season for this engine. It will have seized, yeah. If I judge from the main bearings, the wear of the main bearings. Yeah. Smart thing that he said, the owner, to open the engine. You know, I was expecting to see fresh built engine. You're gonna tell me it might be the contamination from the fuel, from ethanol. It might be, yeah. Aha, and they have sleeved the block. Lovely, amazing. At least didn't crack. Something is that. All right. You see this difference there. I mean, I'm talking about the step there. Yep. It's been sleeved. How lovely. Amazing. Oh boy. You're gonna tell me if they did it right, and as soon as it does have any crack between, it can stay, right? Let's wash it. Let's remove the main bearings, put it in order, place it in order. Here we have the number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. The third one's the middle one with the thrust washers there. Alright, removing the cooling jets, wash the engine, take it inside the engine room just to see the cylinder, the bore. Crankshaft, need to send it for unpolishing to don't have these marks on it. Yep. The bearing, the pilot bearing here, it's really gonna be a good thing to change it. Most probably nobody changed it before. Yep. Alright. Let me write down the bearings, put it in order, put it inside the engine room actually, get also the crankshaft inside the engine room, and moving on. And I'm coming here to remove the cooling jets. Number 1 and number 2, it's an SP. Alright. Number 3, it's Allen, and number 4. I mean, they have a check valve, as far as I remember. I already lose these two. Now I have to get the Allen to lose also the rest. Let me take it apart. By the way, for me, I'm not saying that it was not okay. I cannot prove it. Okay, now I have already opened it. But I use these wrench to lose the nuts on the head studs, to lose the nuts for the crankshaft bearing caps, and to lose also for the connector bearing, the connector caps, the bolts for the connectors. I'm not that strong. Okay, to me it was not torqued down properly, the studs and the bolts, but that's me. All right, moving on. Let's remove the cooling jets. Before I continue, I remove the cooling jets. Okay, I have it here. My advice, if you have to change the two check valves, because this, I remember right, it's a check valve. Okay, change all four, don't change only two. That's my advice on that. Okay, so I'm gonna upload the video till now to watch the owner, to don't be huge video. Then I'm gonna prepare the block. I'm gonna write down the bearings like I said, prepare the block, bring this out of the engine room to check the ball size. Now, what need for sure, 100%. Okay, crankshaft main bearings, thrust washers, connector bearings. For the cooling jets, all 4 new valves for a peace of mind. Head gasket, definitely. The tensioner here, this one, it's gonna be nice to have a new one. And the timing chain, it's actually everything's optional. It's all about the customer, all about the owner, what he wants to do. For the intake manifold, if we can get a kit with the seals to change all the seals and split also in the middle, all right, to be okay. Valve seals, I'm gonna check that later, not now. The front seal, the bolt for the cam gear, I would like to put a new one to don't reuse this one because this has been used at least twice, minimum. The other tensioner, gonna be a good thing to be replaced. Okay. The o-ring for the oil pickup tube, like I said before. Yeah. The pilot bearing here. I'm gonna make a list, I'm gonna write it down, just because I'm gonna upload this video, and then I'm gonna continue with the next part to get some measurements. Clean the block, bring it inside the engine room, and see what's happening, what's going on. I'm curious to see the sleeves, if it's okay, if it's round. What's the problem usually? If you press a very thin sleeve and you don't have material, usually it comes like an egg. In some spots it's more tight, in some other spots it's more loose, it's all over the place. If you put, let us say, as an example, this is supposed to be 83 millimeters, alright? So you put, let us say, a sleeve that is going to have 1 extra millimeter thickness. Okay, that means it's going to be 82 millimeters. You press it inside, you do your job, everything is fine, alright? And then you machine it to 83 on the final dimensions to come nice and round. But if you have, let us say, only a couple of hundred of millimeters and then you make only the cross hatch, you're not going to be able to make it perfect round. Just saying, it might be fine, might be beautiful. We're gonna find out later on. That's it for now. I'm uploading this part. Next part, I'm gonna get some measurements from the crankshaft. I might spin it on the lathe to see how it spins. Cylinders and then the cylinder head.